For the past 27 years, I've been a certified welder and weld inspector. And at all costs, I wanted to make sure that my family and my children, they didn't want for anything. And so if it took me working my fingers to the bone, that's fine. That's the type of man I was. It's all grind, no downtime. So to have that taken away from me.
Overnight, almost, just
Instantly. I'm not the doctor type. So I'm always like, we'll see what happens, we'll see what happens. Well, I couldn't take it anymore. She made me an appointment, and I ended up at Broadway Family Medical. They assigned me a doctor, Dr. Statham, this little scrawny dude, you know.
The first time I met Harold, it was at the end of my first year, and he was coming in because he was complaining that he didn't have the energy to do the things that he used to do with his kids. He's got 2 young kids.
I told him, hey, you know, I've gotten to a point where I can't even pick up my son if he's sleeping on the couch and put him in the bed without going into respiratory distress. And as a man, he felt that. Got to listening to him and watching him, and I saw that he was really genuine in wanting to help me. So that kind of helped lower my guard. But at the same time, we went over a lot of my symptoms, and we both were dumbfounded.
I remember saying, we might not find an answer, because oftentimes in primary care we don't, but if you're willing to trust me, we can work through these together. And he said, you know, in all honesty, I don't have a ton of trust in the medical system, but I'm willing to give it a shot. And he's like, he said, I got good vibes from you, doc. And I was like, all right, man.
At that point, I said to myself, I'm gonna trust this man to see, you know, if he really cares. Well, I mean, throughout him just being him, he really showed me that he cared. I mean, this is the first doctor ever called me on the weekend from his own phone, like, hey, you know, I've been sitting here thinking about your case and some of these symptoms, and something's not right, but, you know, I'm gonna figure it out, you know? And I'm just really looking at my phone and looking at my wife, and I'm like, it's the doctor. She's like, who? The doctor. You know, he's calling me on a Saturday. So, but those little things like that helped me gain a lot of trust in this man, to the point that I look at him today, you know, thinking about him. And if it had not been for him, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
He had rheumatoid arthritis, initially diagnosed, but he had some lab markers that weren't really consistent with rheumatoid arthritis, and so we ended up working him up for a really rare condition called mixed connective tissue disease, which pretty much just means that his immune cells are attacking his lungs and causing the lungs to be very stiff to the point where, like, they can't expand the way that they should. So then I had sent him to the community pulmonologist at North Memorial. They made an assessment and said he needs to go to the U right away because of the underlying severity and the rarity of his diagnosis. Got him plugged in with the transplant team right away.
You know, at that point I got scared, and then a week later, I went and saw Dr. Statham again.
I don't start residency being perfect, and so my job was just coordinating with Harold and telling him, I support you, do you have any questions, but you need to start seeing these specialists because this is outside of the normal family medicine thing. I remember looking at him and saying, like, Harold, I've never managed someone on a lung transplant list. And he looked at me and he said, it would be my honor to teach you.
And I'm like, you know, hey, we gonna learn together, bro, because I'm not doing it if you're not gonna do it with me.
When you are given the privilege to be able to be part of someone's life, like Harold, it's a really cool experience, and there's not many other specialties like that.
What I have always seen, and this story, I think, puts it in sharp focus, is whether the physicians know it consciously or not, many of us are learning how to live our lives from our patients. It is actually them who ennoble the school and the training.
People are much more willing to open up and to share really important things to them when they know somebody well. As family medicine doctors, that allows a trust to be built and a real relationship to form and an opportunity for us to show that we truly care about what we're doing.
I learned a lot about not just medicine and lung transplants, but just more about what it means to form a relationship with someone.
I've replaced that passion with racing my car, and I've got a
I
different.
told him just stick with the car shows for now. Just the car shows is fine.
I've got a
you know?
different type of adrenaline rush now. The car is definitely a reflection and a representation of myself and my recovery because, the car went into the garage plain, and then it came out new, improved. It's the same way with me. I went into the hospital plain, I came out new and improved.